Uh, Welcome to another episode of Behind the Bench series from the AMR and One Health Lab at Queen's University Belfast. My name is Linda Oyama, and I am the lead principal investigator here in the lab. And this month is a very exciting month because we are welcoming another one of our fantastic PhD students, Leah Taylor, who would be sharing about her research journey with us. I am so delighted to have Leah with me today. Hi, Leah. How are you doing?
Hi Linda, how are you?
I am good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good as well.
Good. How are
It's
you
really good to
holding
be
up with
here.
the weather in Belfast today?
Yeah, it's really sunny. It's like very warm, but
Yes.
we're getting through it. It's always a surprise going outside.
Yes. And isn't it a shame you have to be in the lab on such a day?
Lots of natural light though, so it's nice.
Oh, good. That's lovely. It's always nice to see natural light. And I must say, you're looking absolutely stunning today. I cannot believe you look this nice to go in the lab. Who says scientists cannot be nice when they're in the lab? So, Leah, thank you for joining us today on Behind the Bench series. One of the first questions I like to ask is, what point in your PhD are you now, Leah? Do you want to tell us at what point of your PhD you're at?
Thank you. So as Linda kind of introduced, I'm Leah. So the next couple of weeks, I'm just going to be talking about my research and kind of introducing you to what I do here. So I'm a final year PhD student. I'm in my third year. Here in the AMR One Health lab at Queen's University Belfast. Um, so in the final stages, getting some the last parts of the lab work. Otherwise, we're very busy, but you can definitely like see it start to come together. Like you're taking off. I've got this experiment, and this matches to this data set, and so it's it's very busy, but we're getting there. We're getting there.
Sounds very exciting and very stressful at the same time, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Okay. So, well, you're now almost at the end of your PhD, Leah. So, maybe you just take us back memory lane a little bit. Yeah. Tell us,
Yeah.
who are you and where are you from?
Okay. So I am obviously accent probably gives it away. I am from Lisburn, Northern Ireland. So basically my kind of early research career starts interesting all through school. The first few years I actually really liked languages, so I assumed I would end up doing like French and German and um those later stages, I kind of started getting really interested in science, and I kind of looked at it, I thought, "Oh, actually, you know, I understand this and I enjoy it." And I've members of my family that also kind of work in that sort of area. So, um, yeah, throughout A levels now, I thought I'll do uh biomedical science or biology, and I actually ended up starting with biology at Ulster University in 2018, and then swapped to biomedical science into my second year and graduated in 2022 with a biomedical science degree and a diploma in professional practice. And from that point on, I kind of thinking, okay, I just finished a project doing looking at antibiotic resistance genes and virulence genes in Enterococcus species. Now it was a dry project because of COVID, but it was really interesting, like reading through the literature where you kind of read about the escape pathogens and how these bacteria are associated with or linked with healthcare associated infections and kind of the dangers of that. So from that point on, when I decided I wanted to do a master's. So I went to Queen's in 2022 to do a master's in molecular biology and biotechnology. And during that time, I was able to then pick a research project for the summer, and that is how I ended up in your lab, Linda, in the AMR lab. I looked at the project and I just kind of thought, oh, I had such an interest in antibiotic resistance that it just kinda jumped out at me that that was the one I wanted to do, like, luckily enough, that's the one that I got. And so it's quite a short period of time to get, to get research done, so that project focused on antibiotic resistance in dairy cattle, specifically looking at colostrum, um, antibiotic resistant bacteria in colostrum, that's fed to dairy cows, and kind of at that same time, there is a chance to do a PhD in that area, in that research area, and I kind of just looked at it as an opportunity to continue that research because I said it's such a short period of time, and then you've got 3 years where you can really delve into this area. And so, fortunately, when I applied, I got the position, and that's so 2023 is when I started the PhD.
That's a very interesting journey that you had there. I never knew you were interested in languages. And tell me, how much of the German and French can you still speak now?
Probably very little, more
Okay.
German than French, and to this
Yeah,
day,
okay.
I would like to pick it back up again.
Oh, wow, more German than
Mhm.
French. Well, guten Tag. That's a new fact I didn't know about you until today after all these years. So, well, we're grateful to have you in the lab with us, and you're a wonderful part of the team. Leah, that's very interesting that you are from Lisbon
Mhm.
in Northern Ireland. I don't think a lot of people would know that there is a Lisbon in Northern Ireland. Is it spelled the same way as the Lisbon in Portugal?
Fortunately not, it's probably not as sunny either. But yeah.
Yes. Okay. How do you spell it then? What's the difference?
Yeah, so it's Lisburn.
Ah, okay.
I mean, Lisburn is kind of it's somewhere I've always been, honestly, and never drifted too far from it, even when we moved slightly out towards Hillsborough. But it's just yeah, it's just kind of it's not too big a place. It's just it's got everything you'd really need in the area. There's some nice green spaces surrounding. Like you're never too far from if you wanted to go into the capital, there's so many shops and there's like cafes and lots of things to enjoy. So your public transports are all connected, and it's just a very like it's a nice area to kind of familiar area to be
So it
in.
looks like the right place to be. So if there are any news students or anybody moving to Belfast for the first time, potentially Lisbon might be a really nice place to live. Yeah.
Mhm.
So tell me now and then, what is your PhD project about? Now you've been working on this since 2022. Can you just tell
Yeah.
us a little bit what that project is about?
Okay. So, my project, as I mentioned, it looks at antibiotic resistance in dairy livestock, specifically focusing on colostrum as an early life feed. Um, And the importance of colostrum in dairy calves, because colostrum, for those who don't know, is the first milk that's produced that the cows will then drink after birth. And in the dairy industry, especially, the quality of colostrum is very important. So they've kind of guidelines, a threshold of what quality the colostrum should be able to feed to the cows, and this is all to do with the antibody, the immunoglobulin G, that's present within the calves, and a lot of this is to do with the fact that cows are born with underdeveloped immune systems. So a lot of the you know immunologi- im- immunological factors and things that they need for their growth and development is provided through the colostrum at this stage. So what I look at in my research is how the impact that colostrum has on antibiotic resistance in dairy cows, and also on the microbiome that we see in dairy calves up until kind of the weaning stage. So I've got like three separate areas, one of which I look at specifically the quality of the colostrum, um, to see, is there like a good or bad quality or microbiome that's associated with good or bad quality colostrum, and kind of how this will then impact the calf in turn if it's being fed this. The second one looks at the antibiotic residues present in colostrum and whether this influences the quality of colostrum and also the resistant bacteria we see within colostrum as well. And then finally, I've got like a longer study which will look at both microbiome and antibiotic resistant bacteria and genes within colostrum and also in fecal samples of calves at certain time points. And this will see um, the kind of like we'll be able to follow the impact of this throughout their life stage.
Hmm. So you mentioned the very fancy word there, microbiome. Can you tell us a little bit about what that means?
The microbiome then is a group of microorganisms that kind of can be found in any environment. In my case, I look at specifically bacteria within the microbiome and bacteria present in colostrum and how this then impacts the calf gut up into the weaning stage.
Um, so, Leah, my final question for you on this episode is tell us one thing that people might not expect about your research or your background, or even that you didn't expect before you started.
Okay. Um, yeah, so I think one of the interesting things about doing this PhD is kind of like I never really thought about all the opportunities it would open up. And all the things that I get to do that maybe I just didn't expect that I could do. So, there's times where you've had to present my work in public speaking and need to 50 or 60 people at a conference, and you look at it and think I could never do that, and then you do, and it always feels good to be able to communicate your research in an effective way and that's engaging to people. Um, and also being able to kind of help with um things like other students from the lab, maybe something you pick something up and then you can kind of pass on to, say, undergraduates or master students. And it's just a nice kind of community to be in to develop new skills, whether that be in the lab or computational skills. So there's definitely a lot of things that I didn't realize that I would be doing. And like new experience. For example, with my PhD, obviously I've been able to be out and farm, which is really interesting. Like I did never expect to do that, and yet it's a nice break up from what you're kind of doing in the building as well, and then you get to go out and kind of see things and get speak with people, and yeah, it's just
Well,
been
that's
really
very
fun.
interesting, and that's actually true. When you apply to do a PhD or even a job, sometimes you don't know all the things that are going to come with it, and it's the reason why sometimes they have things like and any other responsibility is required of you, which can sometimes not be good. But it sounds like from what you're describing that you've really enjoyed all those other experiences as well as being in the lab. Now I'm going to be cheeky here, and I'm going to bring up one experience which I
Okay.
think I look back to today, one of your experience, which I look back to today, and I'm like, wow, that's amazing. Do you remember the first conference that we ever went to? Yeah?
Yeah.
And how you that was the first time you were ever to leave Northern Ireland to go to a conference. How did you feel about that experience? I know you were obviously stressed, especially as was it not only the first time you were leaving Northern Ireland, but it was the first time you were gonna be flying as well.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and I think some people assume that once you're from the West, Western countries or from a civilized country, that you have always flown somewhere and that you're familiar with everything. How did you find that experience? And this wasn't just a conference with 50 people. This was a conference with almost 2,000 people. How did you find that, and how did you cope with that situation? I think I threw you right in the deep end there and just seeing how you would float. Let, can you tell us about that experience a little bit?
Yeah, that's definitely an interesting one. I mean, it was like I said, definitely nervous for me because like flying is just not a fan. But yeah, it was kind of, and then it was a good experience because like I said it's something you think, oh, I couldn't do that, and then you do, and it was great to go to the conference, and I got to see around Edinburgh, which was lovely. Um, and go around the conference, and you kind of you end up meeting so many people, and all different types of research, all different stages of their career, and it's a really good opportunity to kind of to engage with them and kind of also get some feedback on your own work, and they'll ask you, things, and maybe it's something you haven't thought about,
Mm,
which is really interesting, and yeah, it was definitely very interesting, very fun week though,
yeah.
and it's one of those ones I'm glad I did it,
That
uh,
that's
yeah,
lovely. And I think since then you've been to other places as well, which is,
yeah.
that kind of
Yeah.
opened up a new world, isn't it?
Yeah, started a chain of events.
Yes, that's great. And who would have thought that this would all begin because you started a PhD? um,
Yeah,
it's been very, very exciting talking to you today, and we hope that you'll continue to share about your PhD journey with us in the next few episodes coming up
yeah.
in the month of July. And thank you so much for joining me today. And enjoy the rest of your afternoon finishing up in the lab.
Thank you. And thank you so much for having me here. It's been really fun.
Bye.
Bye.